Hello, colleagues. Welcome back to another session of game theory. And in this lecture, we're going to look at the odds method. All right. Previously, we looked at the basics and the introduction to game theory, and strategy. And from there, we built on the saddle point and how to find or optimize one's strategy using the saddle point, right? But you realize that there'll be situations where you cannot find the common ground between two players' optimal strategies. And when you don't have a saddle point, you are forced to use another method. Okay, and in this case, we are using the odds method. All right. So in the odds method, the idea is to master the formulas, right? So just like we did in the saddle point where you find the game value and you also find the strategies of the optimal strategies of each player. In this case also we calculate the game value. The game value has its own formula. Then we go to the probability that each player, say player one, the probability that player one is going to pick strategy one. Player one is going to the probability that player one is going to pick the second strategy. Or if we go to player B, what is the probability that you pick the first strategy or the second strategy, right? So that is how we are going to flow. Eventually, we are going to reach a point where we are finding the optimal strategy for each player. All right. So let me just write down the formula for the game value, which is denoted by V. All right. Okay, that's our formula, and we just don't forget to add the modulus function, which proposes that whatever values that are inside these lines we are putting the modulus function, they should be negative. I mean, we should ignore the negative sign of any variable that is in these particular lines. All right. So now, where are we finding the A's and the A's and the B's, or A1 and A2? We are saying when we are calculating the game value, okay, probably you will definitely be given a 2 by 2 matrix, right? 2 by 2 matrix. In this case, this is a 2 by 2 matrix because it has 2 rows and 2 columns, right? So in a 2 by 2 matrix, you have this variable here, which is -2, being represented by A1, and 8 being represented by A2. Then we have 5 down there, which is represented by B1, and -1, which is represented by B2. All right. Then we begin to get the variables like that. All right. So in this case, since we are saying that A1 is sitting on this place, right? Because if I want to make a box here, you will see that this is actually this box is actually this box, and so on and so forth. All right. Oopsie doopsie. Let me clean that up. All right. So what we are then saying is, if we are to replace, we know that A1 is -2, right? So we say and we are ignoring our negatives basically. So we have 2 open brackets. What is our B1? B1 is 5. We have 5 minus B2 is 1 or -1, but we ignore the negative. Okay, plus B1 is 5, open brackets. Our A1 is 2 minus A2 is 8. All right. Okay, that is our numerator. Then we go down. On our denominator, we have B1. Said B1 was 5 minus B2 was 1, right? Plus we have A1, which is 2, and 8 as A2. All right, so that is our we have inputted the values. All right, then we multiply. 5 minus 2, 5 minus 1 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. So we have 8 there. 2 minus 8, it's negative 6, but we ignore the negative, so it is 6. So this is just the same as 8 minus 2, which will give us 6. 6 times 5, that is 30, isn't it? All right, divided by 5 minus 1, that is 4. 2 minus 8, or 8 minus 2, that is 6. All right, then we have 8 plus 30, that will give us 38, isn't it? 38 divided by 4 plus 6, that is 10. So what is 10? 38 divided by 10, that will give us 3.8. So this is the value of our game, or this is our game value. So this is how we calculate the game value. So please master this formula. All right, and always when you're dealing with this one, you obviously have a 2 by 2 matrix. Okay, if you have a more complex matrix, then you could use other methods like the dominance method, which we are going to look at in the next lecture. If you have a more complicated matrix, you could use um, the dominance method to simplify it to a 2 by 2 matrix, and once it is simplified, then you can use the odds method now to actually get to your answer. All right, we have looked at our game value. We look at now so for strategy A, so I'm going to say for player A, player A has 2 strategies. So what is the probability? So this P stands for probability that he will choose strategy 1. What is the probability that this guy will choose strategy 1? So this calls for another formula. All right, let's put that formula down, and there we go. Okay, so that is our formula for. So we can go back to the table and get our values. We know that B1 was 5, isn't it? That was 5. B2 was 1. Let me just confirm that. Let's go down. Yeah, we have B1 5 and B2, which is apologies for the noise in the background. Yeah, 1 and 5. Then our denominator, we have B1 and B2, which would be the same thing, 5 minus 1. So we don't forget the modulus of all of these guys. All right, so plus A1, we know that A1 is 2 minus 8, which is A2 there. All right, and what are we finding? We have 4 divided by 5 plus 1 minus 1, that is 4. Then plus 2 minus 8, that is 6. All right. Then we have 4 over 10. If I can reduce this one, I can even reduce it further to 2 into 2, that is 2. 2 into 10, that gives us 5, right? 2 over 5. Okay, that's the probability of player 1 or player A choosing strategy 1. What about the probability that he will not choose 1, but he will choose strategy 2? So probability that player A will choose strategy 2, right? Let's put that formula down. Okay, so let us quickly get that is our formula. Let us quickly get to inputting the values. We know that A1 is 2, so I can put them in brackets. We know that A1 is 2, then that is 8, right? Over A1, which is 2 minus 8, plus 5 minus 1, isn't it? Okay, then we have 6 over 2 minus, that is 6 plus 4. So in this case, we have 6 over 10, right? Can I reduce it further? Yes. 2 there is 3, 2 there is 5. So 3 over 5. Okay. So these are the probabilities of the first guy choosing choosing either of the two. So let us look at the for player B, isn't it? He also has two strategies. So what are the probabilities? So let me write for probability of the first strategy. Okay, so that is our formula. All right, so because now we have changed, now look at this. So we have A minus B. Why are we alternating on the figures? Because on our question, we know that strategy B is in the formula side, right? I mean, is in the column side. So we are going the column way. This was our A1, this was our B1. So you are looking at column wise. So these are the values you are getting. Okay, vertically, not horizontally. The other time we were going this way, but now we are going because of the strategies of this guy. All right. So we go back to the formula and we input the values there. And the values are A1, we know that is 2 minus 5 over what is A2? A2 is 8 minus B2 is 1 plus 2 minus 5, isn't it? All right, then we say 2 minus 5, that is 3 over 7 plus 2 minus 5, that is 3. All right, then we have 3 over 10. All right, that is the probability of strategy strategy A. What about probability of strategy 2? Okay, that is our formula for the probability of strategy 2, and let us input the values there. We know that A1, where is A1? A1 should be 2, right? So we have 2, 8, 5, and 1. Okay, let's go. Right. So you have A1 as our 2, then B1 as our 5, A1 divided by A1 as our 2 minus 5 plus, actually this is 2, right? So I have made an error there. So we input for 2. So A2 is 8, and we have 1 there, plus 2 minus 5. All right, so that will give us 2 minus that will be 3. Then we have 7 plus 2 minus 5, that is 3. So 3 over 10. All right, so I had just made an error which I corrected on this one. It's 7 over 10. All right, you can just look at the formula again. I had inputted, I had made an error, but I corrected it. So we have A2 minus B2 over A2 minus B2 plus, all right, A1 minus B1. All right, and the values are going like 8 minus 1, and so on and so forth. All right, so how do we conclude now? Okay, we conclude by now writing the matrix, or just that square a 2 by 2 thing, all right, and putting the probabilities where they are supposed to be. So we found that probability there, and 3 over 5, and we found 7 over 10, and we found 3 over 10. So these are the probabilities of the solution, and we are done.